Are you guys ready? Are you ready? No more fire hazard. Yeah.
We're looking legitimate. We're going to be doing a new video today, and it's not really a recipe video per se. We're going to do a quick marinade. I'll show you guys how to do it. But what we're really after today is approaching something that I think a lot of home cooks and amateur cooks don't want to approach, which is a large cut of meat, something big that you would buy at a butcher or a grocery store that maybe a lot of people shy away from because they don't really know how to handle it. We're going to show you how to do that. I'm going to show you guys how to trim it down, how to cook it, things to consider when you're cooking it. And everything that we learn applies to chicken, it applies to pork, you can apply it to tofu. And you get a much better bang for your buck when you can learn how to get a huge loin or roast or something of the sort and prepare it a bunch of different ways. Because what you're going to have is a bunch of leftovers, and you can use it in a salad. You can make a steak sandwich. You can make tacos. You can add it to ramen if that's something you wanted to do. You'll have a lot left over, so it's really good value. I think people are just scared to do it. This is what we're working with. This is tri-tip name because it's kind of a triangular shape. This is $14, guys, at the grocery store. Okay, this isn't even a butcher cut tri-tip. I could have gotten one, and you can see it comes with a lot of fat on it that we are going to clean all that fat up. It's actually not going to be too hard. And then we have this right here. This is called silver skin. This is a connective tissue membrane. This does not cook down like fat. So if you leave this stuff on your steaks, it's very tough and chewy. It does not break down like fat does. So the big parts of fat we're going to get rid of, and then we're going to peel the silver skin off. I'm going to show you guys how to do that. Now the most important thing when approaching this is take your time, work slowly, carefully, very sharp fillet knife. And all we're going to do is we're just going to take these little cuts of fat like so and just get up underneath them and just work it out. And you can see a lot of this stuff peels up. Now, if you're one of those guys that thinks, oh man, that's all flavor. This is not flavor, guys. This is a wall of fat. And I think a lot of people are scared to approach something like this because they think, well, what if I mess it up and I cut off a bunch of meat? Look, guys, it happens. It happens. It's okay. I am hardly a master by any means. If you're a butcher or training to be a butcher or have butcher experience, you are probably dying watching me do this. But just a nice sharp knife up underneath this stuff. And I specifically picked this piece because it had a lot of this on here. You could go through and probably find quite a few pieces. Don't have this much on there. In fact, there were some, but I wanted to just show you guys that even an amateur with very little experience can do this. This stuff is really common on ribs. I don't know if you guys know this. This silver skin, very common on ribs. On the back side of ribs, people don't even really see it there. And what happens is when you cook, and this stuff is still on your meat, it pulls your meat because it doesn't break down. This fat in here, this is all good. This is the stuff that we want. And there we go. I am very happy with this. A little bit of fat still on here. That's okay. All that stuff is fine. We got this side pretty cleaned up as well. Alright guys, now one thing I want to show you while it's like this and we've got it all trimmed down is the grain. Kind of see how it's got these long lines that run through it, and that is the grain. You can see it kind of runs like this throughout here, and sometimes on these tri-tips it kind of runs like this, and then it kind of shifts up. You can see this grain runs like this. And why that's important is when we cut this after it's cooked, we want to cut across it. We don't want to cut with it. We want to cut against it. And what that's going to do is basically think of this as a long fibrous piece that's in this steak of meat. You don't want to have one long piece that you're chewing on. You want to break it up. So when we cut this, we're gonna cut it probably this way and then slice it, and then we might even kind of shift it a little bit like this, just so these are a little more across where the grain shifts. If there's anything you do with your meat to improve the quality of it, trim it up. Make sure you cut across the grain when it's cooked. And then when you're cooking it, think about this piece of meat here. It's really thick over here, and it's kind of thin over on this side. So there's no way we could get this part and this part to cook evenly. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna kind of tuck this tail and that piece up when we cook it, like so, kind of into a roast type shape like that. And then that way, after it's on the grill for a little bit, it's gonna cook pretty evenly. It'll be a nice even thickness all the way. Prepare your meat appropriately. Cut it down where it needs to be cut down. Make sure it's even in thickness. If this was chicken, you could, if it's a chicken breast, you could pound it out in the fat part, and that way it's kind of even all the way through. You know, if it's tofu, you want to make sure it's even, because you want it to cook evenly all the way through, guys. We had a slight issue with the recording for the marinade. I got half of it. The other half, not so much. So what the marinade was is chopped up cilantro, 3 cloves of garlic minced, 3 tablespoons of soy sauce, some avocado oil, cumin, salt, pepper, zest and juice of a lime. I'll post it in the description. If you like the marinade and you want to do it, you like a soy sauce based marinade, go for it. If you want to do onions and jalapenos in it, whatever you want to do, make it your own. A thick cut of meat like the tri-tip. We marinated it for about 4 hours. You can see it's beautiful. It's gorgeous. It's got all that chopped cilantro in there. The lime counteracts it. It's got the garlic. It's going to be delicious. If you're doing a thinner cut, skirt or flank, I probably wouldn't do more than a couple hours. It'll probably be too salty if you let it sit in the marinade like overnight. A thicker cut probably would be just fine. The most important thing before cooking a steak, whether you marinate it or not, and again, this is one of those, it doesn't matter if it's meat, poultry, pork, vegetables, tofu, whatever it is, pull it out 30 minutes or so before you cook it. Let it get to room temperature. That way it's not ice cold in the center of the meat, and when you cook it, whether it's in an oven, a pan, a grill, it doesn't matter how you cook it, it's not ice cold in the middle, and it cooks evenly all the way through, and that keeps you from... Grill has been going, it's nice and hot. We also have a basket in here. I'm going to be doing some asparagus on the side. Asparagus is just butter and garlic. It's nothing fancy, it has nothing to do with it, but I'm grilling. Keep as much stuff out of the kitchen as possible. I live in Arizona and it's extremely hot. So we're gonna throw this bad boy on here without doing any of the tucking and stuff that I showed you guys. The reason we're gonna do that is we're gonna sear this thing up. So it's gonna go like that. Whenever you're grilling something, put it down on your grill at a 45 degree like that. And what that's going to do is it's going to make it really easy to give you nice grill marks. 45 degrees on the same side. So there you go, 45 degrees. Look at that. Look at that. Is that not gorgeous or what? This middle burner off entirely now. That's it. Close the grill. So what we want to do to keep this thing nice and juicy, get our silicone brush, and just as it's cooking, just base the top. And what we're doing by having these burners off is we're essentially using the grill like an oven. So it's not getting any really direct heat from these burners. It's just this burner on the far right side is on. So we're just going to keep flipping. And basting. Alright, So we pulled the steak, we let it rest for about 10 minutes. Try to let your steak rest as long as you can, or whatever meat it is you cook. It allows the juices to flow back through the meat. It also allows it to continue cooking, so you pull it a little early from the grill. If you want medium, you get it to about medium rare and you pull it. If you want, well done because you're a heathen, you get it to well and you pull it. It keeps cooking. So whatever it is you're cooking, let it rest. It's not gonna hurt it. So we now have this beautiful meat. We basted it with the juices that were coming out in the platter as it came out. My daughter's very excited about this. And there you have it, guys. Look at that. Beautiful. I don't know if that's too whitewashed. Beautiful. We like it right around medium. And that's exactly where we're at. In fact, let me just turn that light off. There you go. There you go. We cut across our grain. That way we shorten up those fibers. Get that guy right there. It's perfect. It's so juicy. It's not salty at all. If you guys are worried about doing it in the soy sauce with the salt, that it's going to be too salty, it's not. Remember, this is a big cut of meat. When you are biting into this, you are only getting the seasoning that's kind of right here and right here. And all of this is just beef. Penny can't wait to have it. Keep cooking, guys. Till next time.